Welcome to Will Rogers State Historic Park. I'm Callista, your interpreter, and I'm back in the ranch house to introduce you to another important figure here at Will Rogers State Historic Park. Right behind me is Mrs. Rogers, also known as Betty Blake of Arkansas. Behind every important person, there's an equally important person supporting them, whether that's your mom, your wife, your husband, your partner, maybe even your kids. I know that many of the people support me are the young school children that come to the park. Well, for Will, it was definitely Betty. Betty was a perfect match for Will Rogers. She had an intense, witty, sharp humor, and she also loved donating her time and her energy to good causes. In fact, after Will died, people would come and visit the home that Will Rogers lived in, her home. And she would give tours, and the donations that she received on those tours, she would give to the American Red Cross. When she was getting older in life, in 1944, she approached California State Parks and requested that she be able to donate this property and house and have it become the first state historic park. However, she was turned down initially because what was going on in 1944? That's right, there was a big war going on. Taking on a new park with new resources, and the fact that it was going to be about a person instead of just being a campground or some hiking trails, that was a very new concept to California State Parks. So Betty had to call in some of her friends. Betty turned to one of her friends and close neighbors, Leo Carrillo. Leo Carrillo owned a small ranch right down the street from Betty, and he was the head of the Parks Department. Well, a couple of close conversations later, and suddenly this property was going to become the first state historic park and renamed Will Rogers State Historic Park. Now, I am standing in front of one of the items that Leo Carrillo actually donated. You can come and see it if you come on one of our house tours. This saddle right here was one of Leo Carrillo's original saddles that he used in the Rose Parade. And all of that shining metal that you see, that is silver, making this a very heavy, ornate saddle. Pretty good for the Rose Parade, right? Without the forethought of Betty Blake of Arkansas and her friend Leo Carrillo to protect this property, it wouldn't be the State Historic Park that you're welcome to come and visit today. Visitors love coming out to watch polo matches, to sit on the lawn, to picnic, and of course, our most popular trail, Inspiration Loop. All of that would be closed and not open to the public, but Betty recognized a need for people to enjoy the property as she and Will had enjoyed it during their lifetime. A place to relax, a place to bring the family, and to just have good company. So hopefully, if you come and visit us at Will Rogers State Historic Park, you'll bring that spirit with you. Feel free to like and subscribe to this page. Leave some comments of good memories that you have had with your family here at Will Rogers State Historic Park.